Gather round, children, for I have a story to tell as your elder. You see, you might remember this from your childhood. But before the fidget spinner, we had Pog. You see this? This is what a childhood looks like. Juice bottle cap lids as a toy. I'm going to read you a bit from the tome. Now if it's a bit inaccurate, bear in mind these are the words straight from the World Pog Federation, and they were printed in 1994 before we had this thing called the web. Pog wasn't invented by one person. The original game goes back to the days before there were CD players, video games, or TV sets. Back when most milk and fruit juices were, believe it or not, sold in glass bottles. Isn't that crazy? Back then, kids would often collect the round wax-coated cardboard discs that sealed every milk bottle and invented a simple milk cover or milk cap game. No matter where you lived, milk caps were the kind of toy that anyone could collect. And collect they did. Seriously, from 1994 to about 96-ish, you could not go anywhere without seeing Pog somewhere. At least, Pog. Oddly enough, it's kind of hard to patent a round cardboard disc with a picture on it. So literally everyone had some version of Pog, regardless of if it was officially licensed. We got Slammer Whammers. What the f is a Slammer Whammer? From license deals to things having Pog merchandise that have no business having Pog merchandise. Seriously, Ziploc had a bunch. They were everywhere. And for the rest of this video, I'm going to share with you the wonder that was my childhood and the childhood of many of your elders. So, come along! And now, for the official World Pog Federation rules. Each player must contribute an equal number of Pog TM milk caps to a single common stack. If possible, all milk caps should be stacked face up on an official World Pog Federation game board. As you might have noted, it does state that they are stacked face up. However, in my time, we would stack them face down. When you are using a slammer against Pogs and are doing it on the image side up, you can damage the Pog when you slam really hard. So we would do the back side. When you see my stuff, it's going to be inverse from the rules. To determine who goes first, flip a Pog milk cap or play Rochambeau, aka rock, paper, scissors. The first player slams their Keeney. That's your Pog slammer. You're going to hear Keeney a lot because that's their like official terminology because it goes back to like the history of Pogs and all that. It's a thick boy Pog. All Pog milk caps remaining face up are restacked for the next player's attempt to flip the stack. Players alternate turns until every Pog milk cap has been flipped and won. The player with the most Pog milk caps is declared the overall winner. Now, this also touches on a really interesting subject. Pog is a game, much like marbles, where you can play for keeps. Of the Pogs that are placed by each player, each have their own stack. In those stacks, you can usually figure out like, okay, if we're playing for keeps, I'm gonna put my like kind of shitty ones. So you'd play your game and eventually they would flip over and you could get some new Pogs that way. And obviously it was weighted in whoever's person's favor who usually had the heavier slammer. And we'll get to that next. As mentioned in the rules, you use a Keeney or Pog Slammer. Let's be real, we're gonna call them Pog Slammers because that's what they're called, not Keeneys. This isn't a Hollister or a Forever 21. In the official World Pog Federation rulebook, they describe the original style of Keeney as being a pair of two milk caps glued together to make a slightly thicker Pog. But let's be real, this is a crap slammer. As the game progressed, other types of slammers came into play, such as rubber ones like this. As you can see, quite a bit thicker. It's probably my thickest Pog Slammer. Then you get into official Pog Slammers, which are very similar to Pokemon tournament coins, if you're familiar with those, at least the harder plastic kind for you asthmers out there. But where it's at is the metal slammer. This is how you get the job done. Now keep in mind, Metal Slammer's kind of controversial. They will jack up your Pogs after a while, but they are awesome. If you get to go first, you probably have an advantage. And of course, we do have the official World Pog Federation mat and stadium. Fun fact about the Pog mat, it's basically a mouse pad. For you kids out there, you know the computers that are like at desks? They have a mouse rather than like using your finger, and this you usually want to put under your mouse, especially back when there was like rollerball ones and not. So mice used to have rollerballs in them instead of the lasers. It was the 90s, it was a weird time, you know? Basically a mouse pad, but it's a very fancy mouse pad because it is officially licensed. You got the Pog Tube. Pog Tube holds your Pogs. When I said that Pogs were a big deal, I feel like that is an understatement. Aside from Pog Tubes, they had their own Ultra Pro sheets, which if you're in the collector community, you know what Ultra Pro is. They are the card guys. They made the hard cases for the Beanie Babies, but they also made Pog sleeves, like every other major thing that has had a sleeve that's a collectible. We had the Pog sleeves, we had the Pog tubes. I had like a tube that was like this long. It was awesome. Wish I still had it. That went in a yard sale back in like 97. For a final piece of understanding of how big of a deal Pogs were. And I don't have footage to show you, but you have to trust me. There was such a thing as Pog shops. Like card shops, like comic book shops, there were Pog shops. And I distinctly remember there was a place downtown where literally the only thing that they had in this shop was Pogs. Binders upon binders of individually priced Pogs for you to pick out. And that was the entire market, because it was the next big thing. But anyway, Pogs are f***ing cool. You got your traditionals. These are all Pog classics. Are you ready for something that has no business being a promotional tie-in? How about Ziploc Pogs with Fingerman? These are called Fingerman Fun Caps. What the hell is this? Why did they feel like they needed to have a character called Fingerman? Why did they need their own Pogs? Anyway, this exists. As far as I can tell, there are 16 different designs for these Fingerman Fun Caps. Fingerman Fun Caps. You like basketball? We got some basketball ones. I think these came out of some cereal. You like Swanson microwave meals for kids? It's fun facts about the White House and how it was first painted white in 1817. Don't know if that's true, but it's on a Pog. You want another cereal promotion? You like your Lucky Charms? Catch these Lucky Charms. The mouse pad style of playmat, not cutting it for you. How about this hard plastic one from Slammer Whammers? You could like knock a dude out with this thing. You probably know about Kids Cuisine and Casey the Penguin. He had his own. Lion King had some too. These were brought to you by Chex. And of course you have my favorite, the Power Ranger, what I believe were called Power Caps, because if it was anything Power Ranger, it had to have power in it somewhere. $4 for roughly 10, not even officially licensed Pogs. And that is just a sampling of the craziness that was the Pog craze. It might not be a Cabbage Patch Kids, it might not be a Tickle Me Elmo, but it was Pog. And it was an amazing part of my childhood. And if anything, it's a game that you should check out. They are not hard to find. Just look on eBay. Just yesterday I was talking to a friend about how much we love Pog. So why don't you gather your friends, go gather some Pogs, some Whammer Slammers, some Power Caps, some Fun Caps, whatever other term that they could use to legally get around calling them Pogs. And you go have yourself a game. So until next time, I hope you enjoy learning about the wonder that is Pog. Thanks for watching. Little side note, I'm shooting this in July, and I'm wearing a sweater in order to like keep up the whole old man thing going. Not the best decision, but gotta commit to character, you know? I also need to stop looking at myself in the side camera.